subscribers. We are now on the road to 500, and it just truly means a lot that you guys are taking the time to watch the videos and like and continue to subscribe. It just truly means a lot, so thank you, thank you. And if you haven't subscribed and you really enjoy this video, then please consider joining the channel and hitting that like button. I really love cooking. I try to cook just about every day. I was going to do my own cookbook of all the recipes that I've like kind of half created, half discovered. But then I went and became a self-published thriller author instead. So if you ever want to read a thriller book, Greenwood is on Amazon for Kindle. I'm not doing paperbacks anymore, but man, it really takes me a long time to cut through all this chicken. Like that piece was probably totally fine, but it looks weird, and I just, in good conscience, I can't eat it. It's like when you eat eggs and they start to taste like eggs, and you're like, nope, I'm done. I'm weird. I'm a super picky eater, just with like taste and textures. So bless it. Sometimes I make 2 different meals. I make my husband's like healthier foods like salmon and broccoli and rice, and then I put me some fish sticks in the oven. They say you grow out of it, but I don't think that's true. I don't think you ever really do. But I'm just kind of rambling at this point because I did not realize it was going to take me this long to cut through all this chicken. I just kind of came up with this today. That is some avocado oil that I attempt to toss in that bowl. I was going to keep the original sound, but it was too loud. Then you go in with some garlic powder. I measure everything with my heart. So that is some onion powder. Again, just whenever your heart says that's good. Some pink Himalayan sea salt. And then some crushed black pepper. I do a lot of pepper, but I do even more smoked paprika, which is what that is right there. If you're not sneezing, it ain't seasoned, so I probably could have added more, to be honest. Again, I tried to toss it, and I was like, you know what, I'm just going to take my hand and just mix it all up. Be sure, after you touch raw chicken, that you are washing your hands. The amount of times I wash my hands in this, like, dinner prep, at least 10 times. Anytime I touch something, I'm like, oh, I gotta wash my hands again. So, and then I always like to add a little bit of cornstarch when I'm gonna air fry chicken, because it just makes it a little more crispy on the outside. I saw somebody on TikTok talk about it, and I was like, you know what, I'm gonna try it, and it was probably the best tip that I've gotten. That's about a tablespoon of butter that I'm gonna try and melt, and then you preheat your air fryer. You let it, be on for 5 minutes at 400, and then you just pop those in there, shake them around, make sure that it's like an even layer, and you will cook it for like 10 to 12 minutes. So then I added just a spoonful of minced garlic. Obviously it'll taste better if you chop it up yourself, but I wasn't going to take the time to do that, so I just got it out of my little jar thing. I just keep trying to work it around. I don't want it to get brown. I just want it to be fragrant. If it starts to get brown, then it's gonna be more of like a nutty flavor, and that's not really what you were wanting to do. So just kind of keep it moving. Here in a second, we'll add in about a cup of this is you do not want your heat too high after you've added in like creams or like dairy, because it can cause it to kind of curdle a little bit and it just doesn't make the consistency that you want. So here in a second I will turn my heat down because you can see it's kind of bubbling up a little bit, but I wanted to get it seasoned a little bit before I turned it down. So I did some onion powder and smoked paprika, pretty much the same seasonings that you added to the chicken. You can just add to this just to give it a little bit of flavor and not just cream and garlic. I had to lift it up a little bit to kind of get it to stop bubbling while I stirred it. So you really don't want it to be too bubbly, because then it just doesn't do what it's supposed to do. So after you add dairy, just kick it down to low medium. It's still pretty bubbly, but then I add in some more salt and cracked pepper and just keep it moving, I try to kind of scrape up at the top so it doesn't, like, not burn, but like dry up there, because sometimes it'll get too thick up at the top. Then I added just a little bit of Parmesan cheese, and if you're going to add more than one cheese, I always recommend stirring in them one at a time, so then you can gauge how much you actually need and you don't turn it into like a cheese dough. So I did my Parmesan first, and then here in a second I will add a little bit of mozzarella and mix that in individually as well. You can add more cheese, less cheese, a different kind of cheese really. This is what I had and I knew would taste fine. So this one is the Kraft mozzarella with cream cheese in it, so it melts really good. It got really thick after I added that, so I add a little bit more heavy cream to kind of thin it up a little bit. Do a little bit at a time, because you can always add more, but if you get it too runny, then you're gonna have to add more of everything else, and so just a little bit at a time until you kind of get the thickness or thinness that you are looking for in your sauce or your gravy or whatever. So just keep mixing that up so it doesn't like stick to the pan. Then you just kind of shake the chicken every now and then to make sure it's not sticking to the bottom of the air fryer. Since I'm doing mashed potatoes, I had to boil some water. Don't come at me for my instant potatoes. I love these homestyle buttery Idahoan instant potatoes. They're my favorite. I didn't have a bag of potatoes to be able to cut and boil and mash, so it's fine. It tastes great, and some people prefer it, so it takes a little bit of time to mix them up, because I used the family size just to make sure we had enough potatoes. So I kind of have to break this video up into 2 clips so I could really get in there and stir it up good, because you don't want to have any like dried pieces that didn't get mixed in with the water. So now you can see it looks more like mashed potatoes. It's thickened up, it looks good, and the spoon sticks in it, so then I know it's the perfect thickness. The chicken was done, so you just toss that into the pan with the sauce and just mix it up to coat. You didn't want to have too much sauce, because then it's almost like you just needed to cook pasta and make a chicken Alfredo. So this is just enough to coat everything and have a little bit to pour on top of the potatoes. I was going to make steamed zucchini to put on my husband's plate, and I completely forgot, so I am sorry that there is not a vegetable